How do we take the new technology, machine learning, artificial intelligence? These platforms know you more intimately than your most intimate relationships because you put that data in there. It's not content, it's behavior. Social media platforms are behavioral modification systems, and we are Pavlov's dogs walking into it. The wrong behavior is rewarded, right? And in the social media platforms, what actually gets distributed faster and further are incendiary comments, lies, laced with anger and hate. You know it. It's part of who we are. So it's almost like the devil and the angel on our shoulders, right? Except the devil keeps winning because the platform itself takes our reactions and keeps us engaged by playing to the worst of human nature, by playing to the devil in us. This is built by design. We are mildly addicted. You have elevated levels of dopamine. You have elevated levels of oxytocin so that you stay and you share. That's what modern authoritarians do. Step one, you lie all the time. Step two, you say it's your opponents and the journalists who lie. Step three, everyone looks around and says, what's the truth? There is no truth, right? Because if there is no truth, resistance is impossible and the game is over. 100% of Filipinos on the internet, 100% are on Facebook. Facebook is our internet. You know, what role did the Philippines play? He called it the petri dish. They tested these tactics of mass manipulation in our countries, and if it worked on us, they brought it to you. They brought it to the United States, to Europe. If it worked in the countries like the Philippines and Nigeria, that they would then port the tactics over. So they use freedom of speech and expression to stifle a narrative, right? The second step is they actually incite hate and violence against you. Instead of actually trying to censor, you flood the market with lies, attack the credibility, you allege corruption, you say it, repeat it exponentially. A lie told 1,000,000 times becomes a fact. You seed the idea first on social media, bottom up, right? These are the URLs that spread the lies. These are the Facebook pages and profiles that spread these URLs. And then if it reposts more than 10 times, it turns red. We took 26 fake accounts and manually counted how many other accounts they could influence. 26 could influence up to 3 million others. It's a cut and paste, right? The same message in page after page after page. They're posting them in the campaign pages. This is a full-time job. So we have to stop the lies and we have to rehabilitate. We have to cure us. We have to rehabilitate us in order to have democracy the way it used to be. Our public sphere has been thrown apart. If there is no rule of law, there is no democracy also. And that's part of the problem because in the virtual world, there is no rule of law. Now, in the age of social media, someone will just lie and lace it with anger and hate, and we just don't stand a chance in distribution. And it filters to reality because online, virtual world is reality. I don't want to break up Facebook, even though a lot of the legislation is looking at antitrust, right? The reason why I don't think self-regulation works is because they had the chance and they didn't take it. I think that the tech platforms have enabled so many good things, but at the same time, they've also enabled the rise of these populist authoritarian leaders that are using these same platforms to use information operations against their own people. At the end of World War II, the atom bomb scared everybody, right? Hitler scared everyone. And as a global community, we came together. We decided that we need to protect humanity from the worst of what human beings do. We're at the same juncture today, and information is the problem now, right? When we see something wrong, for businessmen in particular, there has to be some stop, some accountability. So what to do? Demand what you believe what values you stand for, what you believe should happen. Make facts important, because everyone jumps to thinking fast instead of thinking slow. I'm not taking a side, I never have. I'm not a political animal, I'm a journalist. If you look at the facts say a different thing, but what happens when facts don't matter? Take a look at the Philippines. By no means do I think I have any solution. You want to get the best knowledge from everyone else. This is information warfare. Look at a country like Singapore. Singapore has 10-year plans, and they're actually very efficient. The names change, but the system remains the same. My best defense, my only defense, is to shine the light, to tell you the story, to tell you what's happening. Right now, you can't ensure that election integrity even exists. We can't, because the information ecosystem is so flawed. So I'm trying to understand the world and trying to stay out of jail, you know.
Thank you. Next question. Yes, young man. Patient.
So what do we do? What do we do? We start with the area of influence. You demand accountability from power. We continue to do that. If each of us does that, we put our patch of ground together, stand up against bullies, report the lies, demand accountability from your American social media platforms. It's easy to say you believe in the mission of journalism, but if you duck when it matters, then you don't. Our old world was thinking slow. Journalists' rational thinking stood a chance in that world. The new world, ruled and enabled by tech, is actually driven by thinking fast. Journalists have lost our gatekeeping powers. We're no longer gatekeepers. It went to tech, and tech has decided that politicians can lie. That's actually what Mark Zuckerberg said, right? And so this is the time when, after the old world we know has been destroyed, you come in and you create what the new world is going to be. You have to hold the line, because when you give it up, then you voluntarily give up your rights. Guys, don't voluntarily give up your rights. In 2018, the Philippine government filed 11 cases and investigations against me. It's a case where we published a story in 2012, 4 months before the law we allegedly violated was enacted, and we'll have a verdict on April 3rd. Please keep track. I could go to jail for 12 years on that one. If you can make people believe lies are the facts, then you can control them.